Ooh, that was different out there. No, obviously, last Saturday was a disappointment. Thought we got to coach better, we got to play better. That's the bottom line. Didn't play to our standard. Could have put our kids in better situations. Could have executed better when the plays were there to be made. But we're looking to put that behind us. We got to prove that wasn't us. That was an anomaly. You got to credit Tennessee. They got a good scheme, good coaches, good players. And they were the better team Saturday. So, again, looking to bounce back, looking to put that from behind us and prove that we're still here. With that, I'll open it up.
Blake, you guys haven't really been – I mean, maybe K-State were kind of in that position where you had to bounce back from something you weren't pretty happy with. I mean, what have you seen out of them in the last 2-3 days?
I've seen a lot of pride. I think that there's a chip on their shoulder. I've seen a look of determination, not a look of sadness, not a look of frustration. They understand when we cut on the tape. Again, it all starts and stops with me. Could have done a better job putting them in better situations. Could have done a better job, as players executing it at times as well. And when we see those things and see where we can improve, fundamentally, schematically, and making plays when we're there, I think they see that they know that wasn't us, and there's only one way to prove that. I can sit up here and talk about we got to go out there Saturday at 6:30 and prove that was an anomaly.
What was the plan for stopping Hyatt and McGuire from the slot, and what did they do that kind of made that not work?
It was I didn't do a good enough job explaining to the safeties exactly what we wanted done. And then, again, throughout the game, didn't do a good enough job adjusting. So we had a plan. A lot of times we wanted to more or less make sure that we had two guys on the slot. And again, it's not on the players. That's on me. We didn't execute it.
What were some of the things you saw on the tape, getting to go back and watch it Sunday, Monday, that you didn't spot during the game on Saturday, or things that you look back?
Yeah, really the safeties, the way they were playing, as far as their alignment, the things that we had talked about going into the game, and again, didn't get it fixed during the game. So, but really more so than anything, just how we were aligning, what we were telling them all week to do as far as our alignment and the way we were going to lean to certain guys, we didn't get accomplished. Yeah, we made an adjustment at halftime, and Tennessee, credit them, they did a good job. They ended up hiding number 11 kind of in the backfield. I should have called a timeout. I should have called a timeout. Really, I mean, that's the thing that really kept me up that, Saturday night is I saw it. I'm trying to yell it on, from the sideline in front of 100,000 people. Well, they're obviously not going to hear that. Should have just told coach to call a timeout in that situation. But they did a good job. They hit 11, hit them on the rail route, and then really came back. And really, to me, I think it was two drives. That was, I think, the third drive after halftime. For two drives, we made some adjustments. I thought we were executing the adjustment, playing well. Then they hit us on that, and then they hit us on a run, and that kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back. So kind of a two-play run right there. That wish we could have had back, and again, I should have called a timeout.
Like when you kind of touched on this, but when you got a bunch of veteran guys who played well this year, do you find they get over games like that a little easier?
I do, because of the resume we've had up until that point. I think this would be a lot harder for them to bounce back if this was week 1 or week 2, and they're thinking, what the hell are we doing? But again, I think with what we've put on tape up until this point, they know that wasn't us. And I told the guys, it's on everybody in the room, but it starts and stops with me. And I think they've bounced back really, really quickly. I have not seen any lack of preparation or any heads hanging the last couple of days. So.
Blake, I know you got another game left after this, but you are doing senior stuff this week. And the way Coach was talking, it sounds like, this might be the last one for Trajan and Darius and Isaiah. And they've been here 5 years. What can you say about how quickly they bought into what you wanted to do and how much easier that made your job in year one?
Yeah, I think those guys were huge for the development of this defense. I think they all bought in really, really quickly. And I explained to them, when I got promoted and took the job, like, to me, this is a defensive lineman's dream scheme. You know what I mean? We want y'all to be able to get vertical, make plays, and showed some of the guys that had played within this scheme and the success that they've had. So I think that probably helped them buy in a little bit quicker. But anytime you have three senior leaders like that especially big in stature, guys seem to follow. So for them to buy in and to really buy into myself and the scheme and Coach Peoples and Coach Davis, and I think it's a trickle-down effect, and I think the rest of the guys buy in that much quicker. So can't be more proud of those three guys, and looking forward to see them really perform these next two games.
This is the first year Robinson's kind of stayed healthy. You've been around pros at Texas and Miami. I mean, does he have what it takes?
Yeah, and really, to me, he's a guy that's ascended the entire year. He's gotten better and better and better. I'll be honest, I'm trying to get him to come back for another year, because I truly believe that he can play himself in with another season. I do think he could be a first or second round draft pick, because again, I've seen it firsthand, especially in this scheme, and to see him grow the way that he has. I don't know, we haven't talked to him necessarily about draft grades or what his plans are per se, but I do know that he is really just starting to scratch the surface in this scheme. I mean, the last 2-3 games he's played his best football.
Like, kind of building off that, some of these guys might leave, like you said, but are there some of these younger guys who could step into those leadership roles that you see?
Yeah, I think, again, we haven't necessarily talked about who's staying, who's going, but, when you look at the nucleus of our team, we have a lot of, our defense, I should say, we have a lot of juniors. So I think we'll have a good, healthy bit of leadership naturally that's here. And obviously Chad's already said that he's coming back, and he's a huge part from a leadership standpoint. So, yeah, I think we'll be in good hands.
Like, kind of a similar question with senior day coming up. I mean, Martez has made it pretty clear that he believes it's going to be his last year. What did he mean to the development of his team coming back in the spring?
In the spring, he really brought a vocal leadership, but he wasn't able to go through spring. But the thing that Martez Manuel brings every single day is energy. He's going to give you his best every single day, and when your best players work as hard as he does, it's huge for the development and the culture of what you're trying to do as a first-year coordinator. So I think, one, he's a vocal guy, but two, he plays at one speed. I mean, it is full speed every single snap, every single practice. And for young guys to see that, here's a guy that's a two-time captain, started here however many years he started, and to still go out there and play with that effort and that intensity, it's huge. It's huge, and that's something that all these young guys should really be grabbing a hold of and paying attention to.
Coach, what does New Mexico State do well, and how do you guys kind of defend whatever they're playing?
Yeah, I think they do a good job running the football. I think they're multiple in the run game, meaning schematically they present you some problems. They're not one-dimensional. I think, you look at Coach Kill's background. He's had success running the ball everywhere he's been. But they do a lot of good things schematically from a blocking scheme standpoint that gives you some problems up front, but I think that's their strength. And then they're explosive in the pass game. When they do throw the ball, you cut on their explosives, you're going to see a lot of passes on that tape. So, but more than anything, it starts and stops with stopping the run.
You asked Coach Drake earlier, there be anybody specifically on offense who would get some playing time with the younger guys? Can we see that from the defense? We know you said the rotation was set, but can you see some of that?
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I hadn't even thought about it. Obviously, we haven't played if my memory serves me correct, I guess maybe Louisiana Tech, but we haven't really played a game that we've been in that position to play younger guys. So my mind's not even there, to be honest with you.
What are some of the challenges from a coaching perspective of, having pretty much 7 straight games of conference and then having to prepare for New Mexico State and then having to go right back to a conference game?
Nameless, faceless opponent, I don't think it matters. I think, and especially the way we performed last week, I think our guys are hungry. It didn't matter who it was, that came to Faurot Field. So, again, it's nameless, faceless. The logo doesn't matter, and I think our kids have bought into that. I really do. Again, we just had a great day of preparation. The intensity was there, so I think we'll be ready to go.
Like you mentioned a little bit, Chad Bailey's returning next season. How important is that decision? How important is that to what you're trying to build here?
It's huge. It's huge. Again, from his leadership standpoint, from his obviously his playing ability standpoint, right? But more than anything, to see a guy that's as mature as Chad. I tell guys all the time, man, the grass isn't always greener. And I want all y'all, if y'all are all going to go in the top 3 rounds, y'all need to go. Go make your money. But if you're not projected to do that, man, you got a good life. And if you love football and this is what you want to do, we're going to accept you with open arms. And so, and I feel that way about any guy with eligibility left. The one thing that there is no substitution for in college football is experience. And anytime you can get a guy with as much experience back as Chad, and again, I keep talking about his leadership because I do think he's one of the strongest leaders on our defense. It's huge. It's huge from him setting the standard for the new freshmen that are going to come in or the new transfers that are going to come in. He's lived it. He's already been a captain. He's starting Mike linebacker. He's had a really, really good year. So all those things are huge, obviously, moving forward and bringing those young guys along. I say it all the time that the guys get sick of hearing us coaches, but when their peers start, leading them, that's what you want, a player-led team, and that's what I've seen out of Chad Bailey this year. More so than almost anybody on the defense is he's not afraid, and he does it in his own way, but he's not afraid to get on a teammate or to tell a teammate that they need to do this differently or that differently, and I've been ultra impressed with him. I'm excited he's coming back, that's for sure.
Was he considering declaring for the draft?
I'm sure, because, obviously he's draft eligible, but, and that'd be a question for him is why he's choosing to come back. But, I'm sure he considered it.
Is it easier to hang on and convince some of those guys who might not be first, second round grade guys to come back now that they can get like a little bit of money?
Yeah, I think so. You look across the landscape of college athletics in general, and I know there's been some, probably more so in basketball, you see some guys that 2 years ago for sure would have left, right? And they're sticking around because of NIL. And again, the grass isn't always greener. And, man, to me, especially defensively, if some of these guys that are on the bubble, they decide to come back, I mean, you look at some of the experience that we have coming back, we could be really, really, really good next year. So, and I think they see that. And the more games that we win, the better off they are of getting drafted. You can look at any national champion in the last 10 years and the number of draft picks that they have. Yeah, obviously they're talented, but you look at those teams that are just as talented, they don't have as many guys drafted. The NFL looks at wins, so I think that's probably part of some of the equation too to some of these guys, or at least that's what I'm telling them.
Like, does that leadership and veteran presence kind of make your stop here at Missouri different than your previous stops wherever you coach defenses?
Probably walking into so much experience, it has been different. I mean, when you look across the board at our two deep, I mean, it is majority juniors and seniors, as I sit back. And some of the in the two deep, we obviously have some young guys too. But when you look, especially, the guys that are getting the lion's shares of the reps being juniors and seniors, yeah, that definitely is different, And that's the thing with college football, in my opinion. Again, there's no substitution for experience. So when you have these teams that have a lot of lot of experience and a lot of leadership that comes with experience. It makes your job easier in some ways.
We're good.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Isaiah McGuire at the podium. Go ahead with the question.
Isaiah, this first time in a while you guys have had a game where you gotta kind of come back and bounce back from. I mean, how's everybody? How different is this last couple days than the last 6 weeks?
I think it's more so just keeping up the energy and making sure everyone's staying focused on finish out the season the correct way.
How different was that one to get over on the defensive side than other games where you guys have played well but maybe still lost?
I think it sucked. I think for us as a defense, we had to reflect, see what we did wrong and where we went wrong and where we maybe lost focus and where we have to improve on. Like I said, we haven't played that way in a while, so for us, we know that's not us or our standards, so we have to focus, bounce back.
Isaiah, some of these seniors might be on their way out. You guys were captains, but who from like the younger guys, juniors, underclassmen that could be captains going forward?
I think you have people like Christian Williams. I think that's one dude. Jaden Jerrigan. That's definitely another person that shows leadership qualities. Those are the two main guys that pop off the top of my head.
I know you are walking for senior day this week. You made any final decisions about if this is your last year here?
This is my last year, man. Yeah, this is my last year.
Okay. Well, what kind of went into that? I mean, just because you've been here a while and it's time, or the NFL, or what went into you making that decision?
I mean, definitely. I mean, it's time. Next level's there for me, but that's still in the distant future for me. I just want to finish out this season right with my teammates and go out on victories.
Is there like a timeline on like when you made that decision?
Not really. Just talking over my family and all.
What do you think happened in that third quarter when the game was pretty close, 24, and it seemed like the bottom fell off for you guys? Was there something specific to you that kind of changed the tide and came on that run?
I just feel like they hit a couple plays, and after that, I feel like we just kind of lost focus, got shuffled in the mix. For us, like I said earlier, that's not us, and we just have to continue to improve on that for these last 2 regular season games.
Is there some positives you can take out of this kind of loss?
Definitely. There's, it's not as bad as it seemed, and it's not as good as it seemed. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we obviously there was bad stuff reflected in the score, but we did still put good stuff up on the tape, and we just continue to build on that.
For you veteran defensive linemen that have been here for a while, Trajan and Darius, yourself, just hard to reflect when you still have 2 games left. Can you appreciate how far you guys have come, especially this year with D-line has been pretty much a strength of the team?
Yeah, definitely. For me and those two, we definitely we've been here for a while. Definitely seeing the ins and outs, and and bringing back that standard of D-line Zoo just as a whole and as a group, not necessarily 1 or 2 individuals, but the whole group is contributing to the defense being great. For us, we just reflect on and we're proud, of the work that we put in and stuff like that, and seeing it pay off not only for us but once again for the whole unit.
That whole D-line Zoo thing took place, kind of caught on a while before you got here.
Definitely.
You were a Tulsa guy.
Yeah.
I mean, when did you do you know much about some of those guys that built that?
So, funny story. So, my dad went to Oklahoma State, and I believe in the 2014 Cotton Bowl, he took me to that game, and that's when, obviously, Mizzou played Oklahoma State, not knowing that I would eventually play for Mizzou one day, and I believe that game was, Shane Ray, and I believe Michael Sam, never knowing that you'll be a part of that tradition, here now, you got to thank God for it.
Anything else for Isaiah? All right.
Thank God. God bless y'all. God bless.
Everybody got their coats on. It's that time of the year.
Fire on questions when you're ready.
Darius, how do you guys kind of bounce back? What have the last 2-3 days been like after that?
Honestly, this has been tough. But you got a short memory in this game. I think football is the most humbling sport known the man, because like you saying, you can have your good days and you have your bad days, but as long as you have a short-term memory, get back to work. And I think we're going to take advantage of this opportunity this week to show who we really are, because that's not us. Like, unfortunately, it's just a bad day and against a really good opponent, but we're going to get back to work and fix it and finish the season strong.
I don't know if you could hear Coach Baker's comments, but he was saying that, he just thinks your progression throughout the season is steady improvement. And he hopes you stay another year because he thinks, another year could get you you could be a day one or day two pick in the draft. How do you feel about that?
I feel really good about that, especially hearing from Coach Baker, because that means a lot. Coach Baker is very respected, like in this football. Like, we've had a lot of talks about just different coaches and different things like that, but it's huge. But for me, at the end of the season, I have to figure out what I want to do, and that's the biggest thing. Is like, this is the time to I hate to use the word selfish, but at the end of the day, I have to make decisions for me. But I haven't had any sure thoughts if I want to leave yet, if I want to stay. I'm just focusing on these next 2 weeks, and then hopefully the bowl game. Just have fun with my teammates. Like, I'm really cherishing these days. Honestly, just being around my teammates.
Isaiah just told us he's already decided. You guys, like you and him and Trajan kind of came in together and been around here a lot. You guys talk about the next step together a lot?
Yeah, all the time. Because, at the end of the day, like, Mizzou is the middle. The league is the end goal, So, obviously, this is our stopping place where we're at right now. And we definitely talk about it a lot. But, like I told you, it's really just the memories together. Like, it's thinking about our freshman year to now and just see all our hard work pay off. And, I'm very glad Isaiah, has made it known that he's gone because he deserves it. Like, you guys seen, like, he's been the best player on our defense for 2 years now. Like, he's really, like, if you watch the tape, he's the best defensive end in the country, like, just flat out. If you just simply watch the tape, and, I'm just so happy for him. But we definitely seen these days coming, and we're just staying focused. That's all it is.
Coach Baker was saying that when he got to see you guys when you got the job, he knew the line was a really good fit for his scheme. How much does what you're asked to do in the system help take your game to the next level?
For me, it provides just being comfortable. I feel like sometimes if you're in a single gap defense, you're so focused about being right here at 100%. Well, with Coach Baker's defense, you're able to be 100%, but you're never really wrong. As long as you're playing hard and getting penetration, then you're right. So it just allows you just to go out there and be comfortable. Like, and that's no knock to our past defenses. And it's just his system is really defensive line friendly, and I just think we've been making the most of our opportunities, honestly.
Darius, earlier this year, you lost your spot in the starting lineup for a couple weeks. You got it back. You played some of the best football of your career. Like, what was that experience like, and how did you kind of bounce back from that?
It was humbling. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I had a lot of emotions. Senior captain, 2-year starter. Like, I had a lot of emotions, but I knew at the end of the day my hard work will always show, and that's the thing. I just keep my head down and work, regardless of the situation. It's like, now I'm playing my best ball, but I'll never forget like that moment because I feel like it kind of lit a fire under me for real, and it's just humbling. But all I can do is just continue to work, no matter what my role is, and this and that. But it's just about going to work each day.
Coaches like to say, hey, there's rotations, it doesn't matter who starts, but like that answer kind of indicates it kind of matters who starts.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. Like, 11 guys go out there first. You want to be part of the 11 guys that go out there. The team comes first, but, that personal drive, you want to be part of that 11. And, me not being a part of that 11 those few weeks, like, it bothered me a little bit, but I just stayed humble and stayed true to my teammates and just continue to work. And, the coaches feel like I earned my spot back. So each day I'm just working extremely hard just to continue to just get better. Because it's not necessarily about the spot. It's just about continuing to get better each day because I know who I am. So I'm just staying focused and just keep working,
You mentioned wanting to go to a bowl game. Does having that still on the line sort of make it easier to not overlook a New Mexico State?
Yeah, most definitely. I think my message to the team has been about the bowl game. I think I've probably been talking about it a little bit too much, but for me, I mean, it's no secret. Like, you need 6 games to win to go to the bowl. You know, we got 2 games left. We got 4 wins, and we just need to focus on New Mexico. But the bowl game is in you can see it, but we need to focus on New Mexico because they're a really good team. I think they put a lot of good things on tape, and, you know, they're going to give us everything they got. So just focusing on this week, but we know what the definite end goal is, you know.
What are some of those things on tape that New Mexico State does well that you guys know?
I think with their run scheme, I think they're able to give you like different zone schemes versus the pool schemes. So it's definitely as a D lineman staying in your gap and knowing where the ball is at. I think with their pass schemes, they get the ball out on the perimeter very well with screens. So as a D lineman, make sure we pursue to the ball. And, you know, if you get out there, make sure you try to make a play on the ball, get the ball out. But this game, I think, is all about our defense showing who we are. And I think we had great practice today, and we're going to have even better practice tomorrow. So make sure we just continue to get better throughout the week and just get ready to go play Saturday and just let Saturday take care of itself.
Darius, kind of backtracking a little bit. When you found out you got that starting job back, like what were some of those emotions like in that moment?
What was the emotions? A lot. But like I said, I knew who I was. I never lost sight of that. So, I mean, I knew who I was, and I just stayed key to who I am and just kept working and just be a good teammate. Because I wear the C proudly, and that becomes before anything, my personal desires. I put the team first, and if that's what they felt like was good for the team, that's understandable. But, you know, I was just focused on just earning my spot back and just being who I am, man. And I think it's a lot to think about as far as the future and stuff. But yeah, I'm just glad like everything worked itself out.
Darius, Isaiah tapped Christian and Jaden as 2 guys who could be captains of the future on defense. What can you kind of say about those 2 guys?
Jaden, he's able just to talk under conflict. He's able to get guys going. Christian, he's more of a hold everybody accountable to a certain standard. And I think in the future teams, they definitely will be some great candidates. I could definitely see them as being a captain one day if it's the next team or the future team. But there's a few guys I would also think of. I think Cody Schrader could be a captain. I think of Dominic Lovett could be a captain. Armand Membu, the true freshman, he can be a captain. And I'm forgetting somebody on defense. But now we have a lot of young guys that's definitely ready to be in that leadership role just because of the way they just work each day, honestly. All right, thank you guys.